When we study social change, the first thing we need to think of is reality. To define current reality as simply what is isn't accurate. Reality is subjective, it's not objective. Prior to Columbus, the world was flat. Prior to Copernicus, the Earth was the center of the universe. Human beings couldn't fly until they could. Reality changes, and what is real at one time may not be real at another. Reality relies as much on perception as on fact. The way an individual or group perceives reality defines the way the individual or group thinks and acts. Most prejudices have absolutely no bearing in actuality, but people behave as if their prejudices were true. We must understand the power of perception. Who stands in the best position to define current reality? How do we gain perspective to be able to clearly define where we are? To whom do we listen? Beyond the local community, each person is influenced by the prevailing culture. Art, music, and literature have always shaped and have been shaped by the attitudes of people. Television exerts a powerful force over people's opinions and their understanding of the world. Today, computer technology and the internet are reshaping the flow of information. We are fast becoming a global community. Politics, environmental issues, biotechnology, economics, and criminal justice are issues that sweep into our homes every day. So, how do we explain social change? The rapid, far-reaching social change that the world is currently experiencing did not just happen. It is a result of forces set into motion thousands of years ago. Sorry, I just said that. Transforming the course of human history, social change, the alteration of culture and societies over time, is a vital part of social life. When technology changes, societies also change. The primary changes in human history are tied to the four social revolutions: domestication, agriculture, industrialization, and information. The change, in fact, from Gemeinschaft to Gesellschaft societies, capitalism and industrialization, modernization, and global stratification are other examples of social change that have greatly affected our lives. Social movements, conflict, power, and global politics also contribute to social change. Social change has fascinated theorists. Theories of social change include evolutionary theories, both unilinear and multilinear, cyclical theories, and conflict theories. Unilinear theories assume that all societies follow the same paths. Multilinear theories propose that different routes can lead to the same stage of development. Cyclical theories attempt to account for the rise of entire civilizations. William Ogburn identified technology as the basic cause of social change. According to Ogburn, technology changes society through invention, discovery, and diffusion. Ogburn also coined the term cultural lag to describe how some elements of a culture typically lag behind the changes that come from invention, discovery, and diffusion. Changes in technology often have profound effects on social life. It can significantly change social organization, ideology, values, and social relationships.
It has been 30 years of transformation. Of good times and troubled times.
Civil defense authorities have declared a nuclear alert.
3 decades of change in our culture. Our communications, our politics. Our enemies have changed too.
In 1979, the Cold War was still in full swing, and yet 10 years later, the Soviet Empire began to fall apart, beginning with the collapse of the Berlin Wall. And just 2 years after that, the Soviet Union didn't exist.
Neil Ferguson, a Scotsman by birth, teaches history and economics at Harvard.
Now, I think for most Americans, the great threat is Islamic terrorism.
I think almost certainly.
More than 60 Americans are still held hostage in Iran this morning.
It's worth remembering the extent to which 1979 was the year that properly began to be a threat to the United States with the Iranian Revolution.
It's been a time when the whole world seemed to be shifting. China became an economic power.
I accordingly declare Mr. Nelson
South Africa ended apartheid,
the President of the Republic of South Africa.
and the social order changed in this country too.
It does seem that white men are no longer calling all the shots.
Well, you're asking a white man.
I know
American,
that, and I'm asking you to fess up.
Yeah, and I think the answer is yes.
Not all societal changes are necessarily good. The globalization of capitalism has significantly contributed to environmental decay. The environmental problems of the most industrialized nations include smog, acid rain, the greenhouse effect, and global warming. As the industrializing and least industrialized nations rush to industrialize, they are also damaging the environment. In many cases, the industrializing and least industrializing nations have caused even greater damage to the environment than the industrialized nations. This is because they lack the pollution controls, anti-pollution laws, and experience in dealing with environmental issues possessed by the industrialized nations. Concerns about the environment have sparked a worldwide environmental movement. This movement seeks to protect the environment through education, legislation, and political activism. If you want to know more, continue with this introduction by viewing the Shift Happens video lower down on the page. And click on some of the supplements. There are also PowerPoints available, and a few other videos if you're interested.